She told me she was working overtime, but I checked her laptop and found out she was working under her boss. So I delivered lunch to his wife, and what happened next? She'll never forget the taste of her own betrayal. They always say hindsight is 20/20ths, and looking back, the signs were everywhere. I just didn't want to see them. Vanessa and I had been together for 3 years. We lived together, shared bills, had our routines. She worked as an executive assistant at a corporate office in Midtown, and I worked remotely doing graphic design. It worked for us until it didn't. At first, it was little things, late hours, missed calls, canceled dinner plans. She'd say things like, "Thomas needs me to stay late again," or, "We're behind on this quarterly report." I trusted her. Thomas was her boss, and she always spoke highly of him, too highly. Maybe, but I brushed it off. One night, she came home well past midnight. No apology, just a yawn and a quick kiss on the forehead. "Rough day," she said, falling into bed fully clothed. I believed her. I wanted to, but something in my gut didn't sit right. It was like her energy had changed. She wasn't just tired, she was absent. Even when we were in the same room, she felt miles away. Still, I told myself not to be paranoid. Work stress. That's all it was. Relationships go through phases, right? But this wasn't a phase. This was the start of the biggest lie I've ever lived through. 3 weeks later, she told me she had to go on a 2-day work trip to Boston with her team. It was last minute. "Thomas wants me there to take notes for a meeting with some investors," she said, stuffing clothes into a suitcase she rarely used. I raised an eyebrow. "You're the only one going with him?" She hesitated for half a second. "Yeah, it's just a 2-person meeting." I felt a knot form in my chest, but I nodded anyway. I didn't want to start a fight. "Okay, be safe." The night she left, I couldn't sleep. Something just didn't feel right. She didn't text me when she landed. Didn't call before bed. Just a short, "Made it" message, and silence. The next morning, I did something I'm not proud of. I checked her laptop. She always left it at home, and I knew her password. I told myself it was just to ease my mind, but what I found made my blood run cold. Emails between her and Thomas, private, after hours. One simply said, "Can't wait to see you outside the office." Another had a photo attached, Vanessa in a dress I'd never seen before, standing at a hotel bar. That was the moment I knew. This wasn't just business. She came back from the trip acting like everything was fine. Hugs, kisses, fake smiles. "It went great," she said. Thomas was really impressed. I nodded and played along. I didn't confront her, not yet. I needed proof. I needed to know how far this had gone. I wanted to see it with my own eyes, even if it broke me. So I started paying attention. Every time she got a call from work, she stepped outside. She'd turn her screen away when texting. I even noticed her putting on perfume before overtime shifts. Vanessa used to be casual about work. Now she was dressed like she was going to dinner instead of spreadsheets. I started asking questions casually. "How's Thomas? Still working you hard?" She'd laugh it off. "He's always stressed," she'd say. I knew it was a lie, and every time she smiled at me, it felt like a knife twisting deeper into my back. I was watching the woman I loved become a stranger, a liar, but I wasn't going to lose my mind over it. I was going to flip the script. In one of the emails I found, Thomas mentioned hiding things from Lauren. That was the first time I realized he had a wife. That changed everything. Vanessa wasn't just cheating on me, she was helping another man cheat on his family. I couldn't believe it. She always talked about loyalty, family, honesty. It was all fake. I did some digging. It didn't take long to find Lauren's Instagram. She had no idea. Her page was filled with cute pictures of her and Thomas, smiling at brunch, vacationing in the Bahamas, anniversary posts. She even posted a picture of the two of them with the caption, "Forever grateful for this man who..." I wanted to scream, but instead, I kept scrolling. Then an idea hit me like lightning. If she wanted to hide behind office walls, I'd bring the truth right to his doorstep. I was going to expose them both through his wife. The plan was simple. I'd pretend to be a lunch delivery driver. I'd call Lauren and say I had a special order sent by her husband. Flowers, too. Then I'd knock, hand her the food, and leave her with the truth. But I didn't want to just tell her. I wanted her to see it. I printed the emails. I even included the photo of Vanessa at the hotel bar. I folded them into an envelope and sealed it tight. The next challenge? Getting Lauren's address. Thankfully, Vanessa once left Thomas's contact info on the counter. I used it to dig deeper, a few minutes on LinkedIn, some light Facebook searching, and boom, home address, quiet neighborhood, red door. I had everything I needed. I wasn't just delivering lunch, I was delivering reality, and I made sure it would hurt. The night before I did it, Vanessa came home early for once. She brought takeout, curled up next to me on the couch, and even asked how my day was. For a second, it felt like the old days. For a second, I almost forgot she was the same woman sleeping with another man. She kissed me goodnight and whispered, "I love you," and I responded, "I love you too." But that was the last time I'd ever mean it. I barely slept. I kept picturing Lauren's face, how it would look when she opened the bag and saw the envelope. I wasn't just angry anymore. I was focused. I didn't want drama. I wanted clarity. And I wanted the people hurting me to face the pain they were hiding from. I woke up early, packed a fresh meal from Vanessa's favorite lunch spot, one she used to bring home when Thomas bought the team food. The irony made me laugh. The envelope, tucked neatly beneath the napkins. All I had to do now was deliver it. It was a bright Friday afternoon when I parked across the street from the red brick townhouse. Lauren's car was in the driveway. Perfect. I walked up with the lunch bag in one hand, a bouquet of cheap flowers in the other. My heart was pounding, but my face stayed calm. Lauren stood there in yoga pants and a t-shirt, no makeup, holding a toddler on her hip. She looked exhausted but kind. "Can I help you?" she asked. I smiled. "Hi, this is a special lunch delivery from your husband, Thomas. He asked me to bring this personally." Her face softened a little. "Oh, that's sweet. He never does things like this." She took the bag and the flowers. Then I handed her the envelope. "Just a little extra," I said. She looked confused, but thanked me. As I walked away, I heard her calling after me. "Wait, what is this?" I didn't turn around. Let the truth speak for itself. It didn't take long. Less than an hour later, my phone lit up with an unknown number. I knew it was her. I let it ring out. Then it rang again. I finally picked up. "Is this Jordan?" she asked, her voice sharp but shaken. "Yes," I said. I read everything. Silence. Then she added, "Thank you. I had no idea. You saved me years of lies." I didn't know what to say. I expected tears, screaming, denial. But she was composed, cold even. "I'll handle it from here," she said before hanging up. I stared at my phone for a full minute. I expected relief, but all I felt was stillness. Vanessa still didn't know. Not yet. But her time was coming. Because once Lauren was done with Thomas, I was going to return the favor at home. Lauren didn't waste time. Vanessa came home early again. She was pale, tense. She walked straight to the bedroom without saying a word. I followed. "What's going on?" I asked calmly. She didn't answer. Then her phone buzzed. I caught a glimpse of the screen. It was a message from Thomas. "Lauren knows. She found everything." Vanessa sat down and buried her face in her hands. "I don't know what happened. He said you delivered something?" I didn't respond. "You knew," she whispered. "I knew everything," I said. And I waited for the perfect moment to let it all unravel. She broke down crying. Said it wasn't what it looked like. Said it only happened once. I laughed. "Save it," I said. "I was just the warm-up act. Thomas's wife, she's the main event." She screamed at me, called me crazy, manipulative, even cruel. But I wasn't the one who betrayed anyone. I just handed out the receipts. The breakup was quiet. She packed a bag that night. I didn't stop her. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just watched her walk out of the apartment we once built together. She asked, "Are you happy now?" I shook my head. "Number, but I'm finally free." The next morning, her mom called me. Said Vanessa was staying there. Asked if we could work things out. I didn't even entertain it. A few days later, I heard Thomas was kicked out of the house. Lauren filed for divorce. She posted a photo with the caption, "Loyalty isn't something you demand. It's something you give." It got hundreds of likes. As for me, I slept better that night than I had in months. A week passed with no contact. Then, one night, she showed up at my door. Vanessa. She looked rough. Hair tied back, dark circles under her eyes. She was holding a small box. "I came to return your things," she said softly. I stepped aside and let her place it on the table. "You could have mailed it," I said. She looked at me like she was about to break. I wanted to say I'm sorry." I didn't respond. "I don't even know why I did it," she went on. "I guess I felt important for once. Seen." I stared at her. "You could have just asked for more from me. Instead, you took everything." She started crying. "I was stupid. Thomas is gone. His wife kicked him out. He's blaming me for everything. I lost him. I lost you. That's what happens," I said. "You play two sides, and both collapse." She begged to stay and talk. Said we could rebuild. But I was done building with someone who didn't mind burning it all down. 2 days after Vanessa's visit, I got a message from Lauren on Instagram. "You were right to do what you did," he begged. "But it's too late. I'm moving forward," I replied, telling her I was sorry she had to find out like that. She didn't deserve any of it. She messaged back, "You don't either." We talked for over an hour, about betrayal, about loneliness, about how hard it is to trust again. She said, "I spent years cooking for a man who was sleeping with his assistant. You brought me lunch and gave me the truth." I didn't know what to say, but in that moment, I felt lighter. Someone finally understood what I'd been carrying. Word spread fast after Lauren filed for divorce. Thomas got demoted. Turns out, sleeping with your assistant while married to the board director's niece isn't great for your reputation. HR launched a quiet investigation. He was reassigned and faded out. Vanessa tried to get her job back, but no one wanted to be associated with her. She disappeared from socials, ghosted mutual friends. I later heard she moved back in with her parents. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. They buried themselves. I just handed them the shovel. Sometimes, the most satisfying revenge is watching people do the damage all on their own. I used to think closure meant hearing them say sorry, watching them suffer, getting the last word. But the truth? Closure came in the quiet. It came in morning coffees without anxiety, in sleeping through the night, in not checking my phone every 5 minutes, in knowing I would never again waste energy on people who couldn't give me basic respect. I started journaling again, reading more, laughing more. One night, I walked past the restaurant where Vanessa and I had our first date. I paused, expecting a flood of emotion, but there was nothing, just a calm breeze, a quiet mind. And that's when I knew I'd healed. Lauren and I stayed in touch. Nothing romantic, not at first. Just two people who had been burned by the same fire, learning how to breathe again. She was strong, sharp. We'd joke about how Thomas and Vanessa probably ended up in the same pity party, blaming everyone but themselves. Eventually, we met up for coffee. It wasn't awkward, it wasn't heavy, it just felt right. When she smiled at me that day, I realized something I didn't expect. The person I exposed everything to might just be the one helping me put it all back together. About a month after everything fell apart, Vanessa sent me one last message. "I know I messed up. I know I hurt you. I don't expect forgiveness, but I just wanted to say, I'll always regret losing you." I stared at it for a long time. Thought about saying something like, "Too little, too late." But then I realized, I didn't need to. She wasn't saying it for me. She was saying it for herself, for closure. But I had nothing left to give her. Not anger, not love, not even words. So I deleted the message, and I let it go. I heard through a friend that Thomas tried dating again, not surprising, but it never stuck. Apparently, Lauren's divorce lawyer tore him apart. She kept the house, the car, even the vacation timeshare. Thomas got the spare apartment and some debt. I saw him once, actually, at a gas station. He didn't see me, but I saw him. He looked tired, older, bitter. The kind of man who thought he'd always win until the day he didn't. There was a time I wanted to punch him, humiliate him, destroy him. Now, I just felt sorry for him, but not enough to care. Lauren and I kept things simple. We texted, called sometimes, shared memes, stories, frustrations. Then one day, she invited me to a charity event she was hosting. I said yes. She wore this emerald green dress. Simple, but stunning. I didn't recognize her, not the Lauren I met at the door with a baby on her hip. This Lauren? She was glowing, confident, unbothered. When we danced that night, I finally allowed myself to ask, could this be something real? She smiled and whispered, let's just take it one honest day at a time. And I liked that answer. It still amazes me. One lunch bag, one folded envelope, one quiet decision, changed all of our lives. I didn't yell. I didn't post online. I didn't cause a scene. I delivered the truth. And in doing that, I took control of my own story. Vanessa lost a man who loved her. Thomas lost a woman who stood by him. And I found peace. Sometimes revenge doesn't come in shouting or fists. Sometimes it comes in paper, in silence, in the exact moment someone realizes they've been caught by someone who never had to raise their voice. If you're reading this, maybe you're dealing with betrayal. Maybe someone you love is lying to your face. Maybe you're trying to figure out if you should stay quiet or say something. Here's what I'll tell you. You don't have to destroy people to defend yourself. You don't need revenge to get peace. You just need the truth and the courage to deliver it. Vanessa taught me what lies look like. Thomas taught me what selfishness feels like. But Lauren reminded me what real strength looks like. And me? I'm not the guy who got cheated on anymore. I'm the guy who knew exactly what to do with the truth.
Imagine handing over a simple lunch bag, only for it to explode into the end of two relationships at once. Sometimes, the sweetest revenge isn't loud. It's silent, simple, and undeniable. That's exactly what Jordan did. A girlfriend who betrayed him, a boss who thought he'd never get caught, and a wife who finally saw the truth she was never meant to see. But in the end, Jordan didn't just lose Vanessa. He gained something far more powerful: his peace, his clarity, and a chance to start again. Now, I want to hear from you. What would hurt more, finding out your partner was cheating, or being the one to deliver that truth to someone else's family? Would you have done what Jordan did, or walked away in silence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story stunned you, the next one will leave you speechless. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Until then, remember, sometimes revenge doesn't need shouting, just the courage to deliver the truth.